Welcome back to the Let's Create with Alex Blake podcast. I am your host, Alex Blake, and I am super excited today because it is just us chatting on the pod. So I feel like I always say this every single time I have a solo episode, but I've had a ton of guests, and it's so fun to introduce you guys to my friends, the ones that I've known for forever and the ones that I am just getting to meet alongside you guys as you listen. But it's always fun to just have like a just me and you chat. So that's what we're going to do today. It's going to be a little bit of a shorter episode than we're used to, but I kind of like that because it kind of breaks it up from having like the longer episodes, gives you guys something to do when it's like a quick task that you just want to like pop in your AirPods and listen, you know, or watch YouTube really quick before bed or whatever you want to do. I don't know. I don't know when you listen to this podcast, but anyway, I'm really excited for today because we get to talk about something kind of fun. If you guys follow me on like Instagram, TikTok, whatever, you know that I've been posting embarrassing things that I did as a beginner photographer. And it's just like, they're just like funny things that everyone I think deals with some like sort of them. But it's funny when we can talk about it because like I said, everyone deals with it. So like, why would I hide these things? You know, they're just funny at this point. And yeah, if you're watching on YouTube, you just saw me like catch that pillow. That was really good. My speed, my agility today is really good. Anyway, yeah, so I'm excited because today I guess a couple days ago, I put a submission box on my Instagram and asked you guys to share your story. So you've heard some of mine on Instagram, on TikTok, whatever. If you haven't, you can pause this episode and go watch those videos. They're super short, but they are quite embarrassing for the things that I have done. So I'm excited to share some of yours. But before we get started in that, I do want to tell you guys, like, this is not meant to be like a discouraging episode. Like, this isn't supposed to be something that's like putting each other down or like really making us like feel embarrassed by it. This is just funny. Like, it's just not that serious, the things that we have done. Like, everyone makes mistakes. I feel like instead of like discouraging, it's supposed to feel like encouraging. Like, this is funny because it's like we all relate to it. We've all been there. We've all done things that are messy and that are mistakes and that are like, what was I thinking moments, or moments where like we just like didn't know what we didn't know. You know, that's part of learning and growing. So I hope that this is an encouraging one where we can like laugh together, but also that it's encouraging in the sense of like, okay, maybe you're making these current mistakes now. Look at how far other people have grown and how far you get to grow too. Like, you're going to move past feeling embarrassed about these things. Like, it's literally fine. And then if, you know, you're one who like made these mistakes before and now you're out of it, I hope it's encouraging to like reflect back and see how much you've grown. So that's kind of why I wanted to do this episode. A, it's funny, and B, I hope that it's encouraging to us. So yeah, I think that's pretty much all I wanted to like say in my intro. Oh, also, I wanted to tell you guys, photo camp is coming up. So I'm so excited. I feel like I say that I'm excited about everything, but photo camp is like top excitement, guys. So I'm really pumped for photo camp. It's coming up in like 2 weeks or less than that, I guess now. But I literally just got like a text this morning from like our Airbnb that we're renting. And it was like, hey, it's coming up. It's almost time to check in. And I'm like, I'm so excited. And yeah, I just think it's such a like special thing when I get to meet people in our community. We get to like make our community wider and invite more people into it, and get to learn alongside people, get to meet so many amazing photographers who just like want to grow and learn in their craft and make new friends and shoot a lot of content. And that's what I love to do. So I'm pumped when I get to like invite other people into it. And yeah, myself and all of us speakers and all the people that are just like helping to host photo camp with me, we're all just like so excited for it. So of course I'll like share more about photo camp after. But yeah, also, I don't know if I'm supposed to say this or not, but I've also been planning the next one. So originally I was like, okay, I'm going to take like a little bit longer of a break between photo camps, and I've been doing some planning. I've been doing some dreaming. So I'll let you guys know when I'm able to, but I have some plans in the works. So yeah. Speaking of community, if you guys like this episode, please make sure that you rate and review the podcast on Apple, Spotify. If you're on YouTube, make sure you subscribe or like comment and like my videos. It really does like help us to expand our community and invite more people into it. Whether that's in person for photo camp or if it's online through the podcast, through Instagram. Like I love to make the world feel like a smaller place and invite people in, and for creatives to have a place where they feel like they're connecting and they have friendships. So that's what we're all about on the Let's Create with Alex Blake podcast. Sounds so official when I say like we. I don't know why I said that. Really, it's just me. I'm a one-woman show, okay? Anyway, okay, let's get to the meat of the episode because like I said, I promised that this one would be a little bit shorter for you. So embarrassing things that you guys did as beginner photographers. Here we go. Let me read it out. This one starts in all caps, just so you know. It says, shooting in a stupid high ISO for an entire session, ... Sorry for all the caps, but honestly, it's needed because am I okay? But in all seriousness, this was my first paid session and I was so nervous. It was at golden hour and I just needed it to go well. And then she said, without thinking, I guess I put my ISO to like 6,400. Oh my gosh. If not higher, and just went to town. I was able to salvage images in post, but it definitely wasn't what I wanted to see, let alone deliver. And then delivering it on a CD. Wait, that's funny. She said, or he, I guess, LOL, LOL, LOL. Am I too old to be here? No, you're not. I love the pod. You've been so inspiring. Thank you for sharing all that you do for us. Okay. This is actually so funny and crazy and also like terrible, I'm sure, for you in the moment. But shooting at that high of an ISO would wreck me. Like I would be so scared opening them back up. I can't even imagine. I mean, they must have been like all white, you know, but I would love to see the pictures just to like envision what it looks like. But obviously the fact that you delivered them on a CD means that this was a while ago and I don't even know that you have those pictures still. So anyway, also thank you for listening and thank you for being a part of the podcast community. Anyway, I've definitely had like times where I shoot, you know, in higher ISO than I should. And I have to like pull myself back during editing and stuff. But it is definitely like if you're a beginner photographer, you're listening to this and you're like, I don't even know what you're talking about. ISO is basically just like fake light. So if you have way too much of it, there's no way to like truly salvage those because it's going to be really poor quality when you try to like lower it in editing, when you try to like bring the exposure down in editing. So a lot of people, I tend to shoot like very like true to color in the moment, true to the light in the moment. But a lot of people will actually shoot underexposed where their ISO is lower than it should be so that they can bring it up in post because they think that it makes the quality better. So that's kind of my 2 cents on that. But thank you for sharing that because that in the moment is quite embarrassing. Okay, this one was actually not a submission, but it was a comment on my TikTok and I just thought it was funny. So I wanted to share it. This was from someone named Stacy. She said, I didn't know what brush tools were and my friend kept telling me to use a brush to lift the shadows. And I was like, this emoji with the like spectacle on. She did 2 of them. And then she said, but I was also too prideful to even ask what they were. And I feel like this is so me. Like this is a prime example of how I was as a beginner photographer. Guys, someone would say something and I would like nod along. Like, yeah, I totally know what brushes are. And I would have no idea. Like one of my beginner ones that I put in the video was like, somebody saying something about like why I shot in RAW. And I was like, or why I don't shoot in RAW. And I'm like, oh, it's just too much work. Like as if I knew what RAW was, had no idea. But I feel like this is like such a place to learn from of like, why do we think we have to know everything? Like whether we're beginners or not, like if somebody says something now, I'm just gonna be like, girl, I don't know what that is. Can you teach me? Like, even if it's about photography and I'm a professional photographer, like it's okay that I don't know stuff. Like I'm literally self-taught. I want to continue to learn. That's like the whole point in having your own business and being a creative is like constantly learning and going to the next level. But it is so funny that we feel like we are like, we just like have to know everything. So I loved that one. And I love that she like is looking back on it and being like, yeah, I was prideful. Cause like 100% we can be prideful. Okay, here's the next one. I didn't know how to use sorry, let me start that one over. I didn't know how to edit in Lightroom because I really didn't know how to use it. So I literally would take pictures of people or things or events or whatever, then airdrop them to my phone. I would edit them in Visco and then airdrop them back to my computer to deliver them. Wait. That is so much work. Imagine having that many raw pictures, or maybe you were shooting in JPEG at the time, being a beginner, I don't know. But imagine having that many raw pictures from clicking on your camera on your phone, bringing it in to a less than editing app for professional pictures, then airdropping them back. Like that is a lot of work. But I really feel like it goes back to like, just like not knowing what you don't know and like not taking the time to learn it in the moment. And so we have these like stories like this that are just so funny. Like, oh wait, I just thought of one that I haven't said, but this is so funny because it so relates to this. I literally, guys, I don't know where my brain was because this is like not even a photography thing. This is just like a computer thing. But like, you know how you can like command all where it gets all of the pictures selected? I didn't know how to do that when I first began photography. So I would literally go through and command and select every single photo when I was exporting from Lightroom. So it would be like 100 photos and I would like hand select each one of them to export. Like I was doing so much more work than I needed to do because I just didn't take the time to look it up. But anyway, I love that one. I think it's super funny. Okay, here's the next one. When I first started photography, I had a little mishap at the beginning of a senior session. I realized that my SD card was full. Yikes. I thought deleting the photos would free up space, but since I never actually formatted the card, it was still full. I was so confused. I thought my card was corrupted, so I had to run and grab a new one. Luckily, we were both early and hadn't started shooting yet, so I had time to come back without cutting into the session. Thankfully, my client was so sweet and totally understood. Ever since then, I always make sure to format my cards after saving my photos and keep backups of SD cards and batteries. Girl, this is my worst nightmare. I'm not even kidding. I like to this day, I like look through my camera bag before every session to make sure I have everything. And I always check that I have extra SD cards because I'm so afraid something is going to happen to my SD card. And honestly, I had like a time where I showed up to a session and this is when I was a beginner photographer too, but I showed up to a session and forgot my SD card. Like I had my whole pouch that I normally have sitting out on my coffee table. I was running late and I just like grabbed my stuff and left it there. So I had to do the same thing where I had to hop in my car, run to a drugstore and pick up an SD card. It was thankfully like close, but it did cut into the session time. And I was thankful it wasn't sunset because that would have been extra hard. But because of that experience, I'm like, this can never happen again. And I always check like all my batteries, all my SD cards, and make sure I'm good to go. I think that's happened to probably everyone in some way, shape, or form. Okay, this next one. So I've used Pass this entire time to deliver galleries. Same. I love Pass. And didn't realize until like 10 to 12 months ago that I hadn't been sending an email. Wait, what? I thought typing in their email just emailed them, like it just did it. So I was texting the link too. Literally delivered whole weddings via text. So embarrassing. Wait, that's funny. So you were putting in the email, but weren't actually like clicking send for the email. So this person was like literally not sending an email when she thought that she was. And so she was just texting the link. So her clients, it looks like her clients were just getting pictures via text when really she thought she was sending the email. For like, it sounds like it was for a long time. That's actually kind of crazy. That's funny. Yeah. I mean, honestly, I don't feel like that's that embarrassing. Like if they didn't ask for it, like they're getting the pictures. It would be one thing if you didn't text it out and they literally just weren't receiving pictures for like a year. That would be crazy. That would be crazy. Okay. When I first started building my portfolio, so like in 2021, I literally used my phone as my camera and also used really ugly presets on all my photos. Girl, we've all been there for the presets one. We've all had to find our style. But the phone thing is funny. At the same time, though, I don't feel like this is embarrassing because I think this is just you beginning and you learning. Like, if you don't have money for a camera right now, like starting with whatever you have around you to be creative is such a special and cool thing. And like, maybe you're looking back on it like, oh, those pictures sucked. And maybe they did. Like, but that's okay because you were just beginning. And there's like, everybody starts from somewhere and everyone has to learn how to be creative with what they have in their hands. So maybe they're not as good of pictures as now what your style is with your presets and now what you have for your gear, but you were starting somewhere. So I don't know. I kind of like this one, honestly. Okay, the next one is I acted like I had shot an engagement shoot before, but never had. I didn't lie necessarily, but used wording to make the guy think that I had done them before. Words like people usually, well, most people, and the guy usually, things like that. But hey, he was really pleased with the shoot, so he doesn't need to know the secret. Also, this just happened in December, so proof that we're all still learning. To be fair, before this past fall, I'd only ever shot graduates and seniors. So you could say that I was a beginner in couples portraits for sure. Okay, that's funny. I feel like a lot of people do that. Like, and especially for you, it sounds like you'd only shot graduates and seniors. So you knew how to use a camera. It's not like you're a full-on beginner in that way, but that is kind of funny. I wonder if you liked it. Did you like shooting couples? I'd love to know. Message me. Tell me all the things. Tell me how it went. Okay. This is our last one for today because, like I said, I wanted to keep this as a shorter episode, so I kind of picked through the submissions. Okay, here it is. I bought super cute planners and would write down my sessions in cute ink and stickers, etc., instead of setting alarms in a digital calendar. The problem is you have to remember to look at your planner. I totally forgot about one until they called, oh gosh, and asked me where to meet, and I was still at home. I hadn't read that one until just now. And I'm like, that is my genuine worst nightmare. I said that about one other one with the SD cards, but like, no, that is my worst nightmare. Like forgetting about a shoot or whatever, not being there. Oh my gosh. I did have one time where I did not forget about this shoot. Thankfully, I haven't had that experience yet, but I didn't forget about the shoot, but like okay, what am I saying? Hold on. Okay, yeah, this is what it was. I had to remember what this horror story was. But basically, somebody was a day early. Like they thought that their shoot was one day when really it was the next day is what we had planned on. And that was in my calendar and all the things. But it was a sunrise shoot. So she called me like multiple times. I'm sleeping. I wake up to a text and thankfully I wake up a little bit early. And it was like, where are you? I'm here, blah, 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 blah. I'm in full panic mode, guys. But again, it turns out the shoot was the next day. She still wasn't very happy, but also I was like, this is not my fault. What do I do here? Anyway, I hope that this was a funny, lighthearted, and encouraging episode for you guys. I hope that you are having a great Thursday. And yeah, I will see you guys next week for another episode. Love you guys.